Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Ari, and today we're going to have some more stories about our toxic life. But before we start, it would be so much appreciated if you would subscribe to my channel, like the video, if you enjoy it, and maybe leave a comment down below. These simple clicks would mean a lot to the future of this channel and really reward the effort that I put in every day. And now without further ado, let's go. Today's first story. In this story, at a family gathering, the husband learns about a scandalous incident at a bridal shower attended by his wife. There were male strippers, and the wife was present in a video sitting along the wall as the stripper performed. The husband later confronts his wife about the incident, and she admits that some of the women got carried away during the performance. Now let's get into the story. I am sorry for the length. First, some background. My wife and I are both 30 with no kids and come from a large family. Both her parents have 6 to 8 siblings. From this, she has many cousins and second cousins. The families have known each other for generations, so are close. The wife is very close. Or 8 women. In the last few years, there have been many marriages, including our own, and baby showers, some of which have legendary status. I will explain below. All these gatherings are huge productions and well attended. Last weekend was a Christmas gathering. The family rented out a venue to fit everyone. This gathering was her mother's side of the family. Eventually, after going around greeting everyone, the close cousins settle in with each other in their SOS. The conversation came around to a bridal shower that happened last summer. Because the family is so big, they had 2 showers. One was hosted by the older parents, aunts, and grandma. The other is hosted for the younger relatives. The cousins started reliving the shower with much laughter. The SOS were just sitting there smiling as we watched them enjoying the moment. One of the cousins started to start a story pointing at another, but was hushed. There was an awkward moment with these looks between each other. Now the Sevos are curious, me included. We wanted to hear the story, but the subject was changed and any attempt to bring it up was shut down. I walked away to get some dessert and drinks. As I was hanging out by the bar, another of the SOS came up to me. He asked if I really wanted to know what happened. Of course, I said yes. He took me outside. He pulled out his phone and swore me to secrecy. He had snooped on his wife's phone and found a short video of the shower. The young cousins and friends, about 20 to 25 people shower had included strippers, think, dancing bear type. The video shows the guys dancing naked with the women laughing and screaming. The video shows the stripper going down the line in front of each woman, sitting on a bench along a wall. The video is shot from the end of the line. In profile is my wife. She is third in line. Just as the stripper moved to the next woman, there was a large roar, and the video scanned across the room to the other stripper. Then you hear, "Turn that off." No videos. The video ends at the time. I asked the wife about the shower. She said it was fun, but it was just a shower. She never went into detail. I dropped it at that time. Now with this news months later, I am not sure how to handle it. I can't tell her I saw the video without revealing how I saw it. Update: here is an update to my post. The other day, I asked to my wife what went on at the shower. She at first said it was just a shower. I told her I know more than just a shower took place. She looked at me for it seemed like an hour. She took a deep breath and then told me they had strippers. She actually seemed embarrassed. I asked how all that came about. She tells me that at previous showers, some of the games they played in conversations had increasingly become more raunchy. The older women did not like it and tried to shut it down. The younger relatives decided they would hold their own showers and the older relatives could have their more traditional showers. After that, the raunchiness got turned up a notch. Finally, a couple of years ago at a shower, a stripper was brought in. It was the typical dancer that did his act to the screens of the crowd. Then he left. Nothing happened with the crowd. It embarrassed the bride. The cousins and friends were really divided about it. When the cousin that was the ringleader got engaged, there was some payback. The strippers were hired. Knowing the type of show they put on and the participation it would generate, it did the trick. As the bride-to-be hid in another room during the performance, I asked what kind of participation was there. She said the guys danced really close to some of the women, pulling some up to dance with them. I told her that I didn't have a problem with strippers at the shower, then asked why she didn't tell me unless there was something more to it. She then got quiet. I let the silence hang in the air. She was waiting me out. I think. I then said I saw a video of the. I asked if there was anything else against silence. Then she said some of the girls got carried away. I asked her to go on. After hesitating, she admitted to what was on the video. After more silence, I told her I saw her. At this point, she started crying and said, I swear I didn't do anything. You have to believe me. Ask my sister. As she cried more and more, I told her I saw her sitting along the wall as the stripper worked his way down the line. She said, then you know my sister, and I got up off the bench and got away from him. I told her the video didn't show that and that it cut away. I asked if her sister would confirm what she said. She said to call her. I video called her sister from the wife's phone. She was in shock when I told her why I was calling. The sister verified what the wife had said. So I am believing what happened. I did tell the sister to tell her husband because this is going to get out now. I am dealing with my wife who is mad that I assume she cheated but at the same time ashamed. She never told me. We have some work to do. Today's second story. In this story, Opie was in a casual relationship for a year and a half, but eventually committed to it. They faced a career setback and started coding courses. During this time, their partner broke up with them, which motivated them to excel in coding. They passed a Microsoft programming exam, secured a software developer job, and became the head of IT development. Their ex is still with someone else, while they are now successful and content. Now let's get into the story. I was with a girl for a year and a half. She fell head over heels for me while I wasn't even looking for any kind of a relationship. I approached the whole situation casually, but before anything even began, I told her not to expect anything serious from me because I was not the relationship type due to bad experiences in the past. Yes, infidelity. But we kept seeing each other and she kept pushing and pushing for a commitment. I really started to like her personality. Silly me. And after 3 months of fooling around, I decided to give the relationship a try. She was from a different town about an hour away, but she would spend every weekend, holiday, and vacation with me at my place. When we met, I was a CEO and project leader of a company. Some other fellows and I tried to build from the ground up, but the owner, the boss, unfortunately, wasn't able to secure enough funds for us to continue working on it, despite the fact that we were 2 to 3 months away from putting the product on the market. I'm from an area, a country in Europe where jobs are really hard to come by. But nevertheless, I applied for everything I was qualified for. I didn't care. I just needed a job. I got interviews, but no luck actually securing a job. This went on for 6 months. Of course, the fact that I didn't have a job made us both a bit uneasy. But I really didn't get a feeling that it was affecting our relationship at all. At the beginning of this year, in January, I had a meeting with my counselor at the Unemployment Bureau. She asked me if I wanted to attend some courses where they'd teach me to code. Without hesitation, I said yes. Not only would I be able to get a job, but I wouldn't need to worry about employment for the rest of my life. I applied and a few days later I found out that they accepted me. I don't know what their criteria was, but I knew that they didn't want to take just anyone and I was ecstatic. But something was off. A few days prior I started to notice her being kind of weird, cold, unattentive. I knew something was amiss. She was starting fights over nothing. I couldn't make sense of it at the time. In one of the arguments we had, I said, look, everything is going to be fine now. I'll learn to code and after a few months, we'll be set for life. And she responded with something along the lines of, who cares? You're going to fail miserably anyways. Phew, that was weird, I said to myself, but I shrugged it off as her being in one of her bad mood swings. Didn't think much about it at the time. As you might have figured out by now, there was someone else in the picture. A week later she dumped me for her coworker, a high school dropout working a manufacturing job. I was beyond shook. I sat in my pain for the next 3 months, but then it was high time for me to stop feeling sorry for myself. As I had started with my classes, COVID postponed the whole thing a bit and I had a lot of work to do, since I had never ever seen code before in my life. Now, mind you, these courses were Microsoft courses, and the exams we were studying for were Microsoft exams for which they only gave us 3 months of time, counting down for the last lecture of each course. So I had my work cut out for me. These kinds of exams are usually taken by people who have a degree in computer science, or at least employed programmers for the last few years. One day I got home from my classes and opened my laptop. I read the book and did some exercises until like 1 a.m. I was drained, and the more I was looking into it, the less I understood. But at least I got started. I went to bed tossing and turning and thought to myself, what in the hell did I get myself into? I will never pass this stuff. Then out of nowhere, I heard those words in the back of my head from when she was cheating on me with the other guy. Who cares? You're going to fail miserably. Anyways, I lit up like a Christmas tree, got back up and continued to code until 4 in the morning. Every time I was exhausted and about to lose it from all the new information, I remembered those words, and it was more than enough to keep me going. Today, my fellow betrayed, I passed the first Microsoft programming exam, and I have already been studying for the second one for the last 2 months. A totally different programming language which I plan to take and pass as well. Like the title says, sometimes the much-needed motivation comes from a strange place. I just wanted to share this with people who can relate in some way to the story, as I haven't told anyone else yet. Update. It's been a little over a year since my first and last open topic on this subreddit. At this opportunity, I'd like to thank every single one of you for your support and your encouraging words. At the end of each year, I like to take some time for myself and look back on the year. Therefore, I decided to write another post to this community since it has been so helpful and encouraging to me in the past. Hopefully, it will inspire even one person going through the same turmoil and hurt I went through almost 2 years ago. So what happened since my last post? I got my first software developer gig at the very beginning of the year. The very first company I sent my CV to decided to hire me not long after my original post. I started work in the beginning of January this year. My initial contract was only for 6 months. Understandably, the company wanted to make sure that they didn't take on board a cat in the bag, and I was eager to start my career, so I took the job. They allowed me to work from home. Although the offices were only a 3-minute drive from my place, I decided to make sure that I took full advantage of the opportunity in order to display to the whole world who I was and what I was capable of. After about 3 months on the job, I was having a Skype call with the lead tech of the software we were developing. He was not a member of the company, but was a private contractor. This guy was one of the most respected developers in the whole country and had been working for himself for the past decade. Toward the end of our conversation, he said, "Hey, do you work on any projects for yourself?" I responded with, "What do you mean?" He said, "Well, I have a lot of clients and they are all looking for software developers. You've got some real talent, so let me know if you're interested. I can recommend you to them." I said, "Well, not right now. I have a non-compete clause in my contract, but that contract will expire in the summer and I can hopefully renegotiate with my company to take the clause out." He replied, "Do that and then notify me." Thus, at the end of 6 months, the CEO of the company called me. He said that they were ecstatic with my work ethic and my potential and that they would like to extend my contract. I said, "Sure, I'm interested." I mentioned that I wanted my non-compete clause out of my next contract and he responded with, "Well, I'll have to check up with the owner first on that." He then proceeded to tell me the salary they were prepared to offer me in our new deal. I immediately knew I was worth more than that. In my mind, I was like, "You are absolutely insane if you think I will sign that." But I responded by saying, "I'll get back to." I could hear in his voice that he was taken aback a bit by my response, but he said, "Okay, notify me after you think about it." I gave him a call a few days later, a day before my contract officially expired. We talked for a bit and he said that the owner did not like the idea of me opening up my own software developing business, as they were scared that it would affect my focus and work in their company. I said that I understood, but I knew that I wasn't backing down from that as independent software developers were making a killing out there. Later that day, I responded to him with an email where I stated what kind of salary I wanted and that I wanted the non-compete clause out of the contract and those terms were non-negotiable. The next day, the day my contract officially expired, I got a call from the owner. Within 15 minutes, he had agreed to all my terms. All I had to do was sign with them for an indefinite term, and at the very end of the conversation, the owner said, "Oh, and one more thing, you are not a software developer anymore. You are head of it development." I responded with, "Damn it, I should have asked for a higher salary." We both laughed, happy that we had reached an agreement. I accepted the offer and started contacting the companies the lead tech connected me with. Long story short, I finished this year with not only getting a job, but becoming the head of the department at the company that hired me. And after my job, I am working for clients in the afternoon and evening that are working on projects for the state. Yes, you read all of that correctly. People admire me and respect me, and needless to say, money is the least of my worries nowadays. My monkey branching ex. As far as I know, she is still with the loser. She dumped me for struggling to make ends meet every month. If she had any concept of loyalty, she could have been a retired stay-at-home wife and mom by now, which she stated multiple times was her wish. I guess she would rather struggle for the rest of her life than support her man and wait another year and a half. Oh well. Salavi. Merry Christmas to every single one of you. If there is anything I want you to take from my update, it's that you should take that pain and hurt and turn it into a fire in your belly that will propel you to new heights and enable you to live a life you never even dreamed of. I know it is still pushing to be even better and achieve even more every single day.